What is up guys, and welcome to my channel. My name is Naman and today I'm doing a live stream of a gameplay. I've never actually done a live stream before, so this is the first time I'm actually doing a live stream. And to be honest, I'm feeling a little nervous too because I don't really know what to expect and what kind of response I'm actually gonna get. But anyways, the game that I'm actually gonna play today is Football Manager 2019. I've never played Football Manager before, but a lot of people have recently suggested me that I should give it a try, as the game is very close to the real life football management. And the full game will be released on November the 2nd, but with the pre-purchase of the game you do get access to the beta version. So this is what we are gonna try today. So before I actually start with the game, I just want to say that if you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask me whatever you want to ask, and I will be happy to answer all of your questions. And I will also upload this video on YouTube, so if you guys are watching this video on YouTube, then please ask your questions in the comment section and I will hopefully answer them in my next stream. So now, without any further wastage of time, let's begin the game. Okay, so name. This is just the basic information before you start the game. Where is Canada? Sure. So I guess most of you guys who have followed me for a while, they must know that my favorite team, or the team that I actually support, is Chelsea FC. Where is Europe? England. So I'm gonna start this career mode with Chelsea FC, but as we move on we will try some other teams too, but for now I'm just gonna focus on Chelsea. Okay, so I'm not really an experienced manager as far as the game is concerned, so I'm just gonna leave it as it is. Okay, so of course mail, 13 May. (1994). Okay, so my height is 5 feet 10 inches. This is just the basic information before you actually start the game. You have to make your profile. Okay, let's just go with that. Attire, of course, I'm a tactical head coach, so I'm not gonna go with the tracksuit. Confirm. Okay, so we are gonna start with the career mode, and the team that I'm going to choose is of course Chelsea. Advanced setup. So as far as this database is concerned, I will try to make it as small as possible because I don't want my game to have too much burden on it. I want the loading to be small, so that's why I'm gonna try to make the database as small as possible. And as far as the other leagues are concerned, I'm just gonna try to make it viewable only. So now, without any further wastage of time, let's get right into the game. Okay, so one of the users have just asked me, what forwards do you think Chelsea will try to sign in January? Well, to be honest, they desperately need a striker in the January transfer window, because if they don't sign a striker, then I don't really see them even finishing in the top 4, because you can't put so much pressure on Hazard. And the forwards that have been linked with Chelsea are Icardi and Piatek, but I don't see either of them coming to Chelsea, because Icardi would definitely not leave Inter Milan for Chelsea FC, and according to Icardi's agent, he has made it really clear that he will only leave Inter Milan for Real Madrid. And as far as Piatek is concerned, I think he's still fairly new, and I don't think Genoa will let him go so easily. So it's really hard for Chelsea to find a striker, especially in the January transfer window. Okay, so I'm gonna use this profile as it is. Now this is where we actually choose our coaching style. So you can either be a tracksuit head coach, which is like you are gonna focus on ball control, distribution, goalkeeper handling and all that stuff, or you can either be a head coach, tactical head coach. So since I'm not a tracksuit head coach, so I will prefer to be a tactical head coach. So I'm gonna make sure that my focus is on the tactical side of things. Adaptability, determination, player knowledge. This is what I'm gonna try to focus on. Abid takes charge at Chelsea. For those of you who don't know, my full name is Noman Abid. So Abid is my surname. Okay, so I'm forwarding the following news articles for your attention. In a surprise move, Chelsea have hired Noman Abid as their new head coach. The 24-year-old is reportedly delighted to be given the opportunity to hone his leadership skills at Stamford Bridge, and the Blues supporters will certainly be hoping that he can take their team to the new heights, despite the fact that he has never managed a team before. Oh wow, I'm replacing Maurizio Sarri. I thought I would be replacing Antonio Conte. That's surprising. Okay, so this is the welcome message. I don't think I need to go through all the details. The most important thing is that I will be earning 8.33 million per year, and my assistant coach is Gianfranco Zola. Okay, so they're asking me to attend a meeting, which is normally a good idea to attend the meeting. So let's attend the meeting. So my meeting is with the owner Roman Abramovich. Hi Noman, welcome to the Blues. I would like to take a few minutes of your time to welcome you to the club. I also want to assure you that you have the full backing of the board, and we wouldn't have hired you if we didn't feel that you were the right person to propel the club forward. Okay, great. Chelsea are obviously a club with a large history. The fans really appreciate it when a newly appointed head coach has taken time to increase their knowledge of the club. I appreciate you might already know a fair amount about Chelsea's background, but I can send a detailed overview of the club's history to your inbox if you would like. Okay, it's always a good idea to ask the owner to send you the details of the club's history. Okay, so this is what Roman expects us to do. He wants us to play possession-based football and play attacking football. I don't know why it says soccer. It's traditional to hold a press conference. Yes, I would like to hold a press conference. Okay, so this is just like a tutorial about tactics. So these are the different styles of play that we can actually choose from. So the first one is control possession. So of course in control possession our main focus will be on making sure that we have control of the possession, and we will try to build our play from the back. Mentality positive. Take short kicks, out of possession, high defensive line. So this is actually very close to what Maurizio Sarri is actually trying to do at Chelsea. Then we have the Kagan pressing style, which is of course very famous for Jurgen Klopp's Borussia Dortmund. Tiki-taka, no, I'm not gonna go for that. Yeah, vertical tiki-taka. A quick passing style of possession and movement with a narrower, more direct approach than the standard tiki-taka. Shorter passing, play out of defense, work ball into box. Yes, this is what we are going to go for, because Maurizio Sarri actually likes to play a vertical tiki-taka. So this is the tactical style that I'm going to choose. Now the team selection and player roles. Okay, so these are some of the recommended formations for vertical tiki-taka formation: 4-1-4-1, 4-4-2 diamond narrow, 5-2-1-2. But I don't like any of these formations. I personally like to play with a 4-3-3 formation, 4 defender formations, and where is 4-3-3? Okay, so I'm gonna go with a 4-3-3 formation. for this vertical tiki-taka style and confirm. So these are the main tasks of a vertical tiki-taka. Okay, so now we have to adjust the attacking width, approach play, final third, and all the other stuff. The last thing you need to do is pick the starting lineup, of course. So as far as the fullbacks are concerned, of course we are going to go with Azpilicueta and Marcos Alonso, and we will later on change their roles. I want one of them to be the attacking fullback, which will be Alonso, and Azpilicueta will be more of a defensive fullback. He will make sure that we don't get caught on transitions. Okay, so center backs Rudiger and where is David Luiz? So I'm gonna go with David Luiz and Rudiger, and David Luiz will of course be the ball playing defender, while Rudiger will be more of a defensive defender. By defensive I mean he will just stay back. Okay, Jorginho and Conte's position. Now this is actually a very interesting thing, because we all know that Maurizio Sarri has been using Jorginho in a more of a holding defensive midfielder position, while Conte has been used as more of a box-to-box midfielder. But I'm actually thinking of reversing their roles, because I personally believe that N'Golo Conte is the best when he plays at this position in front of the defensive four. Okay, so this is more closer to what I want. The reason why I'm playing with these narrow forwards is because I want my fullbacks to push up and make a attacking line of 5 players. But the problem is that we don't really have any creativity in the middle. I'll come to that later on. Okay, so here is where we actually adjust the roles of these players. So as far as Azpilicueta is concerned, I want him to focus more on the defensive side of the play, because I want Alonso to play high. So I want him to stay back and make it back 3 in case we get caught on transitions. While for Alonso, I want him to be the attacking fullback. And then later on I will adjust their instructions as well. Yes, Rudiger will be central defender, that's fine. And for David Luiz, I want him to be the ball playing defender. Conte, I want him to be the box-to-box midfielder, of course, spot. Jorginho will be our deep line playmaker. I'm probably gonna change Kovacic with Barkley, because in this particular lineup I don't really have any attacking threat in the midfield. So I'm gonna try to change him with Ross Barkley. Keep these two wide. Okay. Now this is more of a balanced formation, because now we have more of the green areas and the red areas are now not that many. And as far as Barkley is concerned, I want him to be the advanced playmaker. Now of course if he goes to attack, then of course he's gonna leave spaces behind, and this is where we normally need Conte, and that's why I'm not gonna make him box-to-box midfielder. I will try to make him a central midfielder with defensive responsibilities. Okay, now for their instructions. Okay, for Azpilicueta, I don't want my defenders to tackle harder, so I'm gonna leave it as it is. Freedom of movement, I don't want him to stay wider, because for Azpilicueta I want him to defend. So I want him to sit narrower so that he can make a back three when Chelsea lose possession. Now let's talk about Alonso. Now I want him to get further forward, run wide with the ball so that Hazard can move inside, cross from byline, and aim crosses at the center. Okay, so about Rudiger, I want him to mark tighter because he is my main defensive asset. Take fewer risks. Okay, I want him to hold position because, of course, if he moves up, then we are gonna leave so much spaces behind the midfield line, which will be very dangerous. So Olive Shami is saying that I should be a real manager. Well, I'm actually planning to complete my coaching badges once I complete my masters. I'm gonna complete my masters in December. So once I'm done with my masters, I'm probably gonna move to UK. I've actually received a few job offers from UK, and they're also gonna cover my coaching badges expenses. So let's see how it goes. So who do you think I should go with, Barkley or Kovacic? I personally prefer Ross Barkley because I think he is more of a goal threat. He has an eye for goal, he can produce goals, he can create goals, which is why I really like him. So I'm gonna give him the opportunity to move around. I don't want him to hold his position. Yeah, this is why I'm actually going for Ross Barkley, because I personally believe that he has an eye for goal, and also he can create some really good goal scoring opportunities. And this is why I prefer Barkley, because if we have Kovacic, then with Kovacic, Jorginho and Conte, Chelsea's midfield don't really provide any attacking threat. So the burden goes to Hazard, Morata and Willian, and of course right now it's only Hazard. So that's why I prefer to have Barkley. I want my wingers to attack, not support the striker, because we already know how good Alvaro Morata is. I'm gonna change Hazard's role from winger to inside forward, because as I mentioned earlier, let me show you from the main image. So as you guys already know, I have placed Azpilicueta on a more defensive role. So Azpilicueta is not gonna push forward, and that's why I want Willian to stay wide so that he can provide the attacking width, while for Hazard I want him to move inside. So when Hazard is gonna move inside, he will leave these spaces open, and that's why I have placed Marcos Alonso on more of an attacking role. So when Hazard moves in, Alonso will occupy that space, while for Willian, he will stay wide because Azpilicueta is not gonna push forward, he will defend. So Willian will cover that attacking width. So let's change Hazard's role from winger to inside forward attack. So now I want Hazard to cut inside with the ball, because if he will cut inside with the ball, then he will open the spaces on the left flank for Marcos Alonso. Okay, so YYFCDTHY is asking me, Numan, do you support Chelsea? Yes, this is why I'm playing with Chelsea. And I think if you guys have been following me on Twitter, then you almost know that I support Chelsea. Okay, so I want Hazard to move forward, cut inside with the ball, and I want him to shoot more often and aim crosses at the center. So I'm not gonna make any transfers because, as I mentioned earlier, I'm trying to see what I can do with the same squad that Chelsea has right now. Okay, so this is the team report. These are Chelsea's strengths and weaknesses. So the strengths are long shorts, midfield depth. Okay, I'm actually gonna try to give Callum Hudson-Odoi some chances in my team because I personally believe that he's a really good player and he can be a big asset for Chelsea in the coming years. So I'm probably gonna try him in some of my games. So for the first session, we are mainly going to focus on the physical aspects of training because, as you know, when you start the preseason, players are coming back from vacations. So it's good to focus on their fitness level. Keep track of player performance in training. Each player is assigned a training rating between 1 to 10. This rating takes their performance over the last 7 days of training into account. So I guess this is how most of the managers make their decisions when it comes to choosing their starting 11 based on these ratings. How well a player is performing in the training sessions. So now if you look at this block here, focus of attacks, so we can see that Chelsea under 23 is mostly attacking from the central spaces. They are not using the width of the pitch. So we need to make sure that we ask Drinkwater to stay back so that he can provide protection to the back line. Problem is that I don't have enough players to choose from. Most of the first team players are on vacation, so that's the biggest issue that I'm facing right now. Set piece. Yes. Thank God. Now we can probably win this game. Who's gonna take the penalty? I want Jorginho to be the one to take this penalty. Yes. Confirm. Come on, Jorginho. Come on, boys. Yes! Yes! Thank God. Come on, boys. Hit them on transition. Yes. Yes, score, score. Oh. Let's watch the goal. Oh wow, that was a beautiful move. Counter attack. I was gonna say counter strike. That was a good game. They did look dangerous during the first 10 to 15 minutes, but then it was all okay. Come on, Barkley, release the ball. Okay guys, that was a good victory, 2-0. Okay, Sir_Win is asking me what's the name of the game. It's Football Manager 2019 and the full game will be released on November 2nd, but this is the beta version since I made a pre-purchase. Okay, so Sumit is asking me try 4-3-3 DM wide. Yeah, this is actually a very good formation, 4-3-3 wide, but the reason why I had my midfielders very narrow was because I want my fullbacks to push high, and also at certain times I want my midfielders to push in between the spaces of a fullback and a centre back. So in some matches I will ask my wingers to stay wide. Let me show you here. So in some matches I will ask my wingers to stay wide. So when they are going to stay wide, they will force the opposition fullbacks out, and when those fullbacks move out, these midfielders will push up. example in this case. Yeah, so the wingers will stay wide and these guys will move up, while in some cases we can use wide midfield when these wingers are gonna move in. So that was all from today. I will hopefully start this game again, I guess, on Monday, because today we have Premier League games. So I'm probably gonna watch those games, and also tomorrow is El Clasico, so I'm gonna watch the Barcelona versus Real Madrid game, and then I have to analyze that game too. And hopefully in the next coming days I will also make a live stream of how to analyze football games.